Welcome to the Gather and Place podcast, where I am your host, Joe Seaman, a real estate agent in the Augusta, Georgia, North Augusta, Aiken, South Carolina market. And I am co-hosted with my lovely bride, Miss Hope, chaos coordinator, and Jill of all trades.
All those titles and more. You know, we have this sign that your mom gave you for Christmas, and we should have it in the background of like every, the one that she got you from 3 Star Vineyards.
Yes.
I looked at it yesterday. Well, I can't wait to put it up in the new office.
Yeah.
So that would be cool. But that like gives all the places that you take care of. Well, not all of them.
No, but
the majority of them.
A lot of them. So
yeah.
that would be a cool sign to have in the backdrop. So
That would be cool.
Our office is under renovation now. Hopefully in the
Yes.
next week or 2, 3, it'll be done, and we'll be able to. We've got a whole media room, and so we'll be able to set that up in our new room.
Yes, we'll
Droovy.
be decorating.
So be
So
cool.
excited.
Cool.
So excited. So we'll have to put it on the background.
today's topic is you're not only Jill of all trade
Oh.
and chaos coordinator, but you're also like a little scrapper when it comes to me asking for opinions
Oh my
on
gosh.
TikTok.
If you want a video to go viral on TikTok, ask people for their
an
opinions.
opinion because people
And
want to share their opinion.
Don't get your feelings hurt when they tell you. I mean, I can't even look at your TikToks anymore.
Yes.
Because
I
I
know.
get,
You can't, but
I want to just go rip somebody's head off, and you'll be sitting there looking at them, and you'll be laughing.
Yeah.
And I'm,
However, like, okay, back up. Let's
Okay.
tell the story for
Let's tell
those
the
that
story.
don't know. So back in November, December of last year,
yeah.
I threw a TikTok. In fact, I'm looking at the back of the house that I was doing a TikTok about. So we're in this neighborhood, and I'm
Yes.
looking at this new construction, and it's a Sunday afternoon. So I'm working site, and I make this TikTok, and just my Wi-Fi and reception is not the best out here. So I make this TikTok, and the house had been on the market maybe 60, 70 days, and I do a home tour of, the house, and I'm highlighting all the great qualities of this house during my home tour. So I make the TikTok, I put all the videos together, and I make the TikTok of the home tour, and just the words on the screen said, help me figure out why this house is not selling, or why is this house not selling? So
And then
it's
the virtual home inspectors come out.
well, I mean, yes, but I throw that thing up 4:30, 5 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon. I literally go show another house, and then I get home, and I look at it, and this is 4 hours later, 5 hours later, and there's all of a sudden 300,000 views on this TikTok and like 5,000 comments. And I'm like, what in the world? And like my notification on TikTok, because those of you who don't know, like I have the notifications turned off of my phone, so I don't get notified. It's wonderful, but
I probably need to do it.
you probably need to. It'd probably lower your
But-
anxiety and stress level tremendously, but
But it helps me make sure everything's okay with the boys. So I can't technically turn them off because the social media accounts that they have, I really feel like
whole nother
whole nother
podcast. So, anyways, I'm like looking through these comments, and they are just brutal. They're brutal. But fortunately, it wasn't anything about,
But you sold that
suck,
house,
or
so the
you're
point-
an ugly
Yes.
person, or your clothes are ugly. It wasn't anything like that. It was just, they were just ripping the house to shreds. And it's a great property. In fact, the buyer for that house came directly off of TikTok. And I just found it so fascinating that we're getting all of these comments about, it's cheaply built and the floor plan is stupid and all this and that. When I'm thinking, all right, this is a $296,000 house, 2,200 square feet, 4 bedrooms, loft, brand new everything.
He's talking numbers, and my eyes are glazed.
Granite
over.
countertops, like really good lot, and everything was great. And I'm like, but as I'm going through the comments, all right, so 75% of them are negative, and then the 25% of them are people going, where do you people live that you could afford a 4-bedroom, 2,200 square foot house for $296,000? And Hope is like, she's totally glazed over at this point. So I really appreciated those comments kind of coming to my defense on it. Not even that I got offended by it, because I didn't get offended by any comment, because I've got very, very thick skin. And
I do not.
Their comments just don't hurt me at all. In fact, just within a few days, that particular TikTok went over 1 million views, over 10,000 comments, and caught the attention of some news, some media, and all that. And so was able to get a little bit of publicity through that. But the comments on TikTok, I even told the news reporter, I was like, don't read the comments. I even told my builder and everybody at the builder's office, like, don't read the comments. Like, the TikTok was phenomenal, but just don't read the comments. Yes, it worked. It served its purpose. We actually sold and closed on that house within 30 days of that TikTok. And so that was the cool part of it.
And it was to a first-time home buyer. And it was just a really good experience all the way around. So since I have done another home tour of the exact home that we're actually sitting in right now, and that TikTok has been very entertaining.
Has gone over 5 million views and has over 100,000 comments on it, and still gets hundreds of comments a day.
That's just crazy.
And it's the wildest thing. And so, however, off of this TikTok that I've done, I've sold 3 additional homes. I have not sold this home yet, but I've sold 3 additional homes out here from that TikTok. So,
and people just like what I think I would say, people want to give you their opinions. I think they should probably give nice opinions, or if you don't like it, just say, it's not for me, move on, whatever. But the amount of people that want to give you ugly comments is astronomical.
We call them keyboard warriors.
Well,
they're sitting behind the
virtual
keyboard.
Home inspectors. Like, it's just like, there's a roll in the floor. You cannot see a roll in the floor on the camera. I'm sorry.
And there's no roll in the floor.
There was no roll in the floor. But all of that to say, I have actually witnessed people calling Joe about
That's
this
the wild
house.
thing, is that they literally
he
are
asked
calling.
A question. He said, what are your thoughts? Like, so this particular house right here that we're in right now, he brought some stuff that we had and staged it. It was never meant to be staged to perfection. Okay. We get that. If we lived here, it would look a lot different, but it was just to see something in this home, just a little couch here,
because
a
lot of people they asked, I don't know that my sofa would fit in there. And so we brought in a full-size regular sofa, 2 chairs, and an 8x10 rug.
Which,
to
by the
show
way, I didn't know we owned this sofa, and I like it a lot.
That all we did was do it to show the scale of the room. Because when it's empty, it doesn't look like anything will fit in here.
Right.
But when furniture is in here, as you can see, we're all in here very comfortable.
People just and this guy, he was so nice. He really was nice. Like, I think you ended up on the phone with him for about an hour, and I think he sent you some stuff too. And Joe's like looking at me like, yes, he asked the question, but he really didn't intend for people to physically call. One person called you and was rude, like, man, do you want my help? And Joe's like, I really was wanting you to answer the question on social media. I wasn't on a phone call with you. But the guy who spent a lot of time with you, it was really cool. I thought that was sweet. I know that you probably didn't have that time, but you took it, and you're connecting with people, and that's what social media gives you the opportunity to do. Is connect with people on a different level that you would never reach around here. And so I think you told me the other day, one of the houses that you sold out here off of the TikTok from this one, the girl come out, she just wanted to meet you. It's Joe's you've had those go viral, and people are just, it's just wild. People want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. I prefer that you do that in a positive light. But there are a lot of people in this world who want to do it in a negative way, and they want to tear people down and move on.
Because I'm not going to
And
comment on
so-
someone's social media negative
No.
at all. I will just
No.
either continue scrolling or try to turn it to where it's a positive.
Yes.
Instead of ripping, there's only a few that is like, man, you're not selling it because your shirt is green. I mean, it's like a few of those, but not many.
Yeah.
Most people are just ripping the house apart, and it's just kind of like, it's unnecessary.
Yeah, I just don't know how we got to that way as a society. Just negativity is just it's
common.
disheartening.
It's so
it's such a
common.
common thing
Yeah.
where I think you just have to make kindness louder. I think when you're nice to people, and it goes back to what I always say, and I hope that this is what I'm known for when I leave this earth one day, and that is leaving people in better shape than you found them. And your negativity doesn't help with that. And so, I mean, we all can be negative. I can be negative. You can be negative. Drew, I'm sure you could be negative a time or two. Like we can get in our moments, but allowing ourselves to stay in that state of negativity is where it's wrong. You've got to find whatever your balance is to pull yourself out of that negative state, because I'm not trying to be ugly, but no one wants to be around people who pull them down.
Right.
They don't want to be around people who are constantly negative. And my mom, your mom, our parents, Sunday school teachers always told us when we were kids, you are the company that you keep. And I didn't really understand that as a kid. I was like, oh, yeah, whatever. Okay. But you really do. Like there's a saying, show me your 5 friends and I'm going to show you where you're going. Your 5 closest friends or 5 closest people, and I'm going to show you where you're at in life. And that is really true. And as we've gotten older, that we found that to be more and more true, and just tried to surround ourselves in uplifting environments, because negativity is so strong and it's so powerful when you give it, you give into it. And so anyway, all that to say, the TikTok story is funny. And I mean, he's been able to sell houses from it.
Sold 4 houses this
People
year
have
from it,
physically
and
called his phone from it.
Yeah.
Like it just,
and it does.
it has its good points.
Yeah. Even with all the negative comments, like I still think of it as a win for
Oh,
my
absolutely.
client that I'm representing. Because
But I'm going to be honest with you. I couldn't do that. I couldn't have all that on I would have took that thing down because I'm more sensitive than you are.
Yeah, comments do not bother me at all.
Yeah,
In fact,
I'm
it gives
telling
me
He will
ammunition
sit
and
there
fuel.
and laugh. Like he'll read those things in the bank. Goes, oh my!
And Hope's wanting to
gosh."
fight.
And I want
She's
to go
wanting
beat
fight
somebody
these,
out. Like don't mess
She's
with my
wanting to
husband.
find these people and fight them.
Like don't
over
talk
these
about my
comments.
husband. Well, I will fight for somebody else harder than I fight for myself. So
But I think it's hilarious. But it's just the power of social media.
So I don't look. Like, I just don't
Yeah.
look at them. And you'll have to say, Hope, this one's going blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm so proud of you. I'm not going to look.
But what it's done is, I wanted to be able to achieve, like, to go live on TikTok. Now I can do that. I wanted to be
Have
able
you
to.
gone live yet?
Yes, I have.
Oh, okay.
So I've wanted to achieve, to be able to expand my reach, because who knows who's moving to Augusta or North Augusta or Aiken,
Yeah.
Well,
You also have a network of agents that you work with. Like, so Joe's a part of a
Correct,
coaching group,
yes.
and he has a network of agents across the country that he gets on calls with every single
morning.
every single morning. And they help each other figure this out. Like one will have a scenario, everyone joins in, helps with solutions. And what I'm saying by that is he's got a network of agents that work just like him.
And so when
It's
somebody,
not a free group. I will also tell you, like, I feel like people need to know your coaching is not free. You have to pay for your coaching. These people have to pay for this coaching too. And what it does in life is when you have to pay for something, you become more of like, your group becomes more like-minded. If it were free and everybody could get a hold of the group, then you would get all kinds of stuff. So all of that to say, this coaching group is top-notch. And so if you're not in Georgia, South Carolina, and you're in California, there is someone in that group that he works with on a daily basis that he can work with to help you too, and making sure that you get what you need as a buyer, as a seller, instead of just picking somebody. I might get a iPhone photo or whatever. So I say I had to put that in there because I think it's important that people know that you do take the extra mile, and your partners in the groups, they do too. You're not your average Joe. You're not your average agent.
Right.
And you don't work with people who are not the same way. And so you're able to have that thick skin, keep trucking along. You see the end result. So
Right.
you saw the end result with TikTok. I would have been stunted at the first negative comment if it was about me. We'd have to fold me up and just, you're not that way.
Right. Well, Drew was saying, should we do a video at this one particular house? And I said, I don't think that the seller would be able to handle it. I think the seller, if I did a why is this house not selling video, I think the seller would not be able to handle the comments, and to where I'm very different. The comments don't bother me.
Yeah.
You're
You're able to read the room, literally.
I can read the room, and they're not bothering me, but my result, like, I'm not going in and doing this house is crap home tour. I'm doing all the positive. Like, Drew has told me that a couple of times, like, because he's watching these things and rewatching them, and you're not saying anything negative about the house because it's a great house. And so I'm showing the value of the house, showing the value of the neighborhood, and unfortunately, people comment all kind of things, and one comment that I just breezed over last night was, I said, this is a really nice sized home site. And they're like, you're calling that a big lot? Like, a big lot is 3 acres. All right, well, you're in a neighborhood. Like, this is a good home site. It's not number one, we don't call them lots. Number two,
I didn't know that.
And it's just, people are just they're just looking to pounce on any little thing that they can. And so, but I'm the same way. I'm not going to interject something negative. I'm going to try to interject positivity if I comment on anybody's thing. And so it's just what I think we're put here for, is to uplift people instead of try to tear them down.
You have to leave them in better shape.
Yeah.
I mean, if you use that as your motto in life, I promise you, your overall outlook, your overall everything about your life will be in better shape.
Yep.
It'll be more positive. You'll be happier. You'll be surrounded by people who are just like you, and that's uplifting and inspiring.
Yep.
And if you just do that, I promise life will be so much easier. But anyway, that's...
So, just don't read the comments on TikTok.
Or,
So,
if you have thick skin, don't read them.
I'm going to do more. It may not be, like, I'm trying to figure out what is the next thing. I don't know that I want to say, why is this house not selling? But I'm trying to figure out what that might be. But people they just are dying to give. And that's something else that I have, real briefly, that I have picked up on, is that the world is like a lonely place. And people are just dying to give their opinion on something.
They're dying to be a part of something.
Unfortunately, 99% of it is negative. But I think that's just the world we live in, and it takes a special person to be the light and to shine the light and be positive. And so, anyways, it has helped achieve what I wanted it to achieve. I couldn't be any happier. So I've sold over $1 million of homes on TikTok, off of TikTok, and I think that's fascinating to me. I'm helping my client. I'm doing what my client asked me to do, is to sell houses. And so I'm figuring out a way to sell them.
Right.
And I think it's fascinating. I think it's cool. So watch out for more TikToks.
I won't be reading the comments.
So, anyways, thank y'all for joining us on this episode of
The
Gather in Place podcast. We will catch y'all on the next one.